And I think this could honestly be another 5-star read for this video.
I know it looks like I'm crying because I am crying.
I think you can see it on my face. I love it. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting to love this as much as I am. It's time! By which I mean the Goodreads Choice Award nominees have been announced, and it is time for me to look at what was. Why am I so dehydrated? Hello, besties. It is time. The Goodreads Choice Award nominees have been announced, and it is time for me to react and see how many I guessed correctly for the romance category. We're going to react. We're going to see how many I got right. In case you missed that video, I will leave it linked somewhere in this video so you can check it out, and then we're going to read the ones that I'm interested in, maybe even the ones that I already own, so I can get to my end of year TBR. But let me throw it to the version of me that's reacting to the nominations, and let's see how many I got right. And besties, we are here. The Goodreads Choice Awards opening round is officially available, and I'm gonna have 2 screens here just to remind you. This is my predictions. We're gonna keep that open over here, and then we're gonna have the Goodreads Choice Awards opening round over here. So let's see how many we got right. La 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 la. Okay, I'm not gonna look at anything but romance for now in my own time. Oh, I'm immediately laughing. So we got Daydream right, and I'm gonna just border everything in a solid yellow color if I got it right. So Daydream. I did not think we would see the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore nor Leather and Lark on there. I didn't think of a love song for Ricki Wilde as romance. I thought of it as speculative kind of fantasy, but it makes sense that it is a romance and it is very well loved. I was not expecting Love of My Afterlife. I have not heard very many things about this. So we've got 1 right so far. They did put Bride and Not in Love here, which I thought they might do. This summer will be different. Yep, saw that coming. So at this point, I said that in initial video that I wanted to have at least 3 correct. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. The Paradise Problem. Yep, How to End a Love Story. I knew we would see. King of Sloth. Saw that coming too. I've never heard of Lies and Wedding. I know Kevin Kwan, but I've never heard of this book. Funny Story, obviously. Swift and Saddled. The rom-comers I haven't heard very great things about, but apparently it's very well loved, and I don't know why Catherine Center didn't even cross my mind. I am so freaking happy to see a queer romance nominated for the Goodreads Choice Award. Play Along was my wild card guess, but I was correct in saying that we would see it as a nominee. Of course, we have This Could Be Us, which I edited that video, and I said in hindsight, I do think that we will see it in the top 10, so we will have to see. And Wild Love, I did initially guess, but then I removed it because I hadn't heard that much about it. Of the 20, I guessed everything but the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, Leather and Lark, The Love of My Afterlife, A Love Song for Ricki Wilde, the Catherine Center rom-comers book, The Pairing, and Lies and Wedding. Wild Love I did guess but ultimately removed, so I won't take that away from me, but I also won't give it to me. 12 of the 20 nominees I was able to guess. 13 if we count Wild Love. But if we go into my original over here, what I would say is I'm really surprised that we didn't see Not Another Love Song and Savor It. That is the visual tally of what I thought would be the top 20, but what actually didn't make it. You can see I got most of these right in my guesses. A couple I should have known. Like I should have known a love song for Ricki Wilde. I'm really happy to see that on there though. I love seeing that book on there. I know it's gotten so much love, and I definitely would have put it on there if I had mentally used my brain and realized that it's a freaking romance. So then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that I did not see coming. And let me tell you right now, the ones that I'm not going to read. Leather and Lark. I'm just not. I'm really sorry. I didn't like Butcher and Blackbird, so it doesn't make sense for me to read the sequel. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, I think, has gotten really popular because of its association with fall, people really wanting cozy fall books, and of course, appealing to the Gilmore Girls fan base, which apparently is the quintessential fall show. I've never seen Gilmore Girls, so I cannot speak to that. Which leaves us with these 5 options. So I really want to read A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. I want to read Play Along by Liz Tomford because I have been reading that series and really enjoying it. I've already read Bride. I've already read Swift and Saddled, and we'll change their colors to green. We have a little bit more diversity, which I really appreciate because we have Abby and we have Yulin and we have Kennedy Ryan and Anna Huang and Kevin Kwan and Tia Williams and Casey McQuiston. So I really appreciate that. I don't know about the other authors, so I could be missing someone. The ones I'm definitely not going to read, I'm not going to read This Summer Will Be Different, and I want to read Daydream by Hannah Grace. I've just been waiting for the library book for so long, and then I really want to read This Could Be Us. So let's get to the vlogging portion of this video where I'm doing some reading. Hello friends, it is the next day. It is nearly 5 p.m. I'm making my dinner and I just started A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. Again, why did I think this wasn't a romance? I always pictured it as like historical fiction speculative, but it is a romance. So I'm very excited to get into it, especially because I know that my friend, I think it was Taylor, who really loved it, but it could have been Emily. But I do think it was Taylor who loved A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. So I'm hoping that I'm going to love it too. But to give you a little update, I've been working on a couple of crochet projects. This little beauty here is a water bottle holder. She's discombobulated, but like the water bottle goes there. And I want it to be a crossbody holder. So I ran out of yarn and I don't have another skein of the same color. So I do need to go to the store tomorrow and get more so I can finish off the strap and make it a crossbody. And the other project that I'm working on is my cardigan, which I picked a yarn that was way too fucking thick because I didn't know any better. So I picked a very thick yarn and then I'm doing a lemon peel stitch, which is an incredibly warm stitch. So this might be the perfect sweater for winter because I'm gonna be sweating in this bitch. It's gonna be hot. And if you're confused, it's the sleeve. Arm and then puff sleeve and then it goes all the way up. It's going to be multicolored, but I want to listen to A Love Song for Ricki WIlde while I do some of my cozy hobbies. So I was just crocheting and I'm going to work on a couple of spreads in my reading journal. So I want to do my Q2 and Q3, some of my favorite books over the past few months, a 30-hour project spread so I can color in the hours that I've been working, maybe do a little bit of writing later on. But in case you're curious, I do print out what I want to use for my pages. Normally I use my Cricut, but I don't have my sticker paper with me. That's back in New York. My mom is gonna come stay with me, so I have fingers crossed that she brings that with her. However, I would time lapse me doing cozy hobbies, but I can't because this is the issue with my camera being of my phone. The audiobook is on my phone and I can't like Bluetooth it to any other device because that's not how my library app works. So I'm gonna see you when I have updates for A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. All right, friends, it is about an hour later and I got to chapter 7 of A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. There are 28 chapters in the audiobook, so I am about a quarter of the way through. I have been doing my little craft in the background. These are the spreads that I made of my Q3 reads, as well as this bingo card my friend on Discord made, which I think it's so cute. It's about all the cozy things to do in November. So my updates for Ricki WIlde. I'm going to try to keep this concise. I love the writing of it. The writing is just so beautiful and it's exactly the kind of writing style that I love. I don't remember if this is my first Tia Williams book, but it very well may be. It's set in Harlem, which is so fun for me because if you don't know, I grew up in Harlem. So she's talking about all the places that she's going and the parks and like her own shop. And of course I can visualize those places because I've been there. Harlem was my neighborhood, so I am really enjoying that. It's so much fun to read about. Ricki herself is an interesting character, and overall the story so far has a very dreamlike quality, which I'm really enjoying. And the author Tia Williams is doing such a great job with creating characters that feel realistic. Even the side characters, I guess, in these stories feel like whole people with their own lives happening in the background, and that's just a show of really talented writing. Exception to that is Ricki's sisters and family, but I think that's because we haven't gotten to know them enough. Ricki herself is very distanced from them, also emotionally, and because we're in her point of view, that is what's happening. Now, we had this moment in the garden where she gets introduced to our hero in a very like magical realism, speculative kind of way, because he literally disappears. And of course, I'm a Swiftie, so all I could hear is, isn't it so pretty to think all along there was some invisible string? It very much has that energy between them. I don't know if he's actually our hero though, but we know, or at least I think, that the person that Ricki saw in the park was actually Breeze. And Breeze is the person that we're following in the 1920s, where he's just moved to Harlem. He's just moved to New York City from the South, and we're getting to know a little bit more of his backstory. He's a musician. He's very, very, very talented, a prodigy, if you will. And we're just getting to know them a little bit more. I am loving it. I don't know how the heck they're going to meet, or if they're going to meet. I don't know how these two timelines intersect, but he has this hopefulness of a new beginning, and Ricki is also experiencing a new beginning, but there's less hope and more like self-criticism and really coming to terms with trying to make it on her own while acknowledging that she doesn't have the best tools to do that because of her background of being extremely wealthy. So I'm going to try to get to the 50% mark tonight, but I am going to pause to eat my dinner. So I'll see you with my next update, which will either be in exactly the same spot that we're in now, or will be tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. In the spirit of learning to slow down and have fun, let's go to Disney World. They have giant ornaments on their giant tree. I'm not kidding. Giant ornaments on the giant tree. I don't know what I'm going to do here. Usually Magic Kingdom is just like fun for like nostalgia, seeing the decorations. But it's not where I would go to like go ride fun rides. However, besties, we're only here for a couple of hours because I do want to leave by 4.
When Christmas comes to town, it's getting cold. Baby, I just want you close. I got all this joy in my heart, and if it's getting dark, yeah, we can go inside. Baby, won't you hold me tight? I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Ooh, the rest just fades away. It's you and me, a magic holiday. The fire's burning bright.
I actually got footage. So I think the final things I want to do in the park are probably ride Haunted Mansion and maybe see what the wait is for Space Mountain, and then we'll go. I don't feel like I should be listening to this. At least not at Disney World. Alright, I am in line for the Haunted Mansion. I have like 10 more chapters left of a love song for Ricki WIlde. I've been listening to that and doing coloring on the phone. And I have to say, I'm not sure I get it. Like, I get that they're soulmates, but I believe that they're soulmates. No, I do like the speculative elements of this story. And Ricki is so funny. She like pulls out curling irons and makes them a crucifix because she thinks her life is in danger. I'm like, well, that's funny. In real life, you'd probably pull out a knife, not a curling iron. So yeah, I'm gonna beat this line for the like 30 minutes, but my headphones just died, so I'll see you later.
Foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. I am your host, Your ghost host.
Jingle bells ringing in my ear. Jingle bell, a sound that's oh so dear. Frosty the snowman is all around town. Watch out for reindeers are falling down. We stay up waiting for Santa tonight. He climbs down the chimney.
Let me just outline my day for you. I went to the gym, then I went to Michael's. No, I went to the gym, then I went to Hobby Lobby, and then I was like, let me go to Disney. And that's what I did. But now I'm starving and eating lunch. It's so fucking hot out, so this frozen lemonade slaps. I would tell you, this little girl walked by in a little Cinderella costume, and why did I almost cry? She was so cute. But I'm going home now because I'm done. So I'll see you at home. Stop! I'm just in time for the parade. Look who's in front of me. It's Rapunzel. Why are they all guillotines? I don't know.
We're dancing around the Christmas tree, hugging and kissing, just you and me. Carolers are singing outside our door, lovely songs we all heard before, as they walk from house to house to wish us all a Merry Christmas Day. Oh, a Merry Christmas Day.
I know it looks like I'm crying because I am crying. Because I'm scrolling through my phone and I was watching reels and I thought it was a prank video, but the prank was on me. They got me. They got me. Will I read? Probably. But for now, let me cry and laugh on my phone.
Alright friends, I'm at a birthday party, so I'm going to update you tomorrow. Yeah, the light just went off. So I'm going to go inside and I'll let you know how everything was tomorrow. But it's a bookish themed birthday party, which is so cute. I am once again out and about. I'm meeting up with a friend, but I want to tell you the birthday party was so much fun. I'm so glad I went. So fun celebrating a new friend, but also all of her friends are lovely and awesome and bookish, and we just like spent the whole time talking about books and doing a book exchange, which was really sweet. But now I'm meeting up with a new friend at a bookstore, which I'm super excited about. And I want to let you know that I did finish A Love Song for Ricki WIlde. I'm giving it 4 stars. I'm going to give you my fuller review and impressions when I get back home, but know that I finished that and I'm reading Daydream now, and I'm almost done with Daydream actually. I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings. Most of them are very positive. I'm having a good time reading it, but for now, I'm going to go hang out. So I'll try to see if I can get some clips before my friend arrives. The books that I have been reading. I am going to be having my little sleepy girl mocktail here, which is just grenadine, lime juice, and tart cherry juice. Some people put melatonin, like the liquid one, into it. I don't personally feel like I always need that, so this is just the mocktail. I want to tell you, I got the shock of my fucking life because I've been drinking this a few times throughout the week. always read the label. Always read the label because it's organic tart cherry juice. That's like all it is. It has 30 grams of sugar per 8 ounces. This little tart cherry juice has more sugar than a fucking soda. Why? Why? So that just shows you. Always read the fucking label. But anyway, I did finish A Love Song for Ricki WIlde, as I mentioned earlier. I'm giving it 4 stars. I really loved it. And first and foremost, I want to say that I love the idea of this story because anything to do with like time traveling in a romance setting is something that I'm always going to love. And Tia Williams is such a talented writer. Like, my gosh, I was blown away by how beautiful so many of the quotes were and just how beautiful the writing itself is. But the reason why it's a 4-star and not a 5-star is I just wanted more emphasis on the relationship between Ricki and Breeze. I know is Ezra. There we go. Between Ricki and Ezra, because I feel like there were parts of this story, especially in Ricki's perspective, where it just kind of felt like we were speeding along in her timeline, but Ezra's perspective was really, really interesting. And I think that having alternating chapters where it was in the past and the present, as opposed to just having a few chapters in the past up until the point where Ricki and Ezra are like really interacting, might have helped me enjoy this story more because I wanted to feel more connected to that element of the story, and it could have helped with helping me feel more established in this relationship. Another thing is that I felt like I was watching this as opposed to like being in the story, which is fine and not like honestly a criticism, but I bring that up to say that I thought there was some amount of distance between me and the story, which made it a little bit less immersive than I would have wanted it to be. I did predict how this was going to end, but it still made me cry, and I still absolutely loved it. And I personally love the epilogue because of how the situation resolved. I would have had concerns about how this ended and what that meant for this person, but Tia Williams, I think, predicted that and did help us understand what was really happening. Were there certain times where I'm like, that just doesn't make sense? Like, she goes to a bunch of Wicca people, but I'm like, why wouldn't you just go to like a doctor, like a voodoo doctor? Why would you go to New Age witches for that? Like, voodoo is a closed practice. Would you not just go to someone who practices voodoo? I don't know, but maybe it was hard to find. But even so, I just don't understand how she made that jump in that conclusion to the point. I do love Ezra and Ricki together, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it. You can kind of see and hear that my thoughts are scattered all over the place, but I will say, as someone who grew up in Harlem, Harlem is my hometown. I have so much love for Harlem. Hearing about Harlem from Ricki's perspective and learning more about the history of what was going on in Harlem at that time and what's there now was just soothing to my heart. I love what Ricki was doing with the flowers around the neighborhood, and every time she would mention locations, I'm like, I know that place, I know that place, I know that place. But also, as someone who is from there and like lived in Harlem, I love that Tia Williams had very clearly done her research because she knows that the Cotton Club no longer exists. There's a certain university up in Harlem who loves buying shit and destroying shit, we'll say. Actually, why am I keeping a secret? It's not a secret. I don't like Columbia. Columbia is doing some shady ass shit. They are, in fact, the kings of gentrification in Harlem. It is them. It is them doing everything. So just make sure you know that that's how I feel. But also, she's talking about going to the Starbucks on 125th. And that makes me laugh because there are 2 Starbucks on 125th. But just how she's describing it, I know the one that she's at in 125th. So it was beautiful and I loved it, and I'm giving it 4 stars. I just wanted more of the relationship and more of the connection to Ricki's stories. I feel like we breezed past the part of the story that we really should have been part of, and that's the development of her flower shop, and I think that could have been very interesting to see. But I did love A Love Song for Ricki WIlde, and I'm very happy to see it on this year's Goodreads list. Now, Daydream. Daydream I haven't even updated you on, and to be fair, it's because I started a new job and your girl was fucking busy doing lots of commuting and like getting used to things, and I'm just like side note tangent, proud of myself for like building a social circle here in Florida and making friends and having plans and hanging out and just doing all of those things. But I've been listening to Daydream on my commutes and just like when I'm doing my cozy hobbies, which is mostly me time. Sometimes I'll show you it, but usually it's just like me time. I think you can see it on my face. I love it. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting to love this as much as I am, but I am. I am loving Henry and Hallie together, their relationship, the somewhat like slow burnness of their relationship, but also how their romance developed from their friendship over time. And that is one of my favorite fucking tropes ever. Not necessarily friends to lovers, which I do love, but strangers to friends to lovers. I love it so much. I don't even know how to vocalize to you why I'm so obsessed with Henry and Hallie together. I don't even like college romances. Just know that. I don't even like college romances. Yet here I am, blushing and giggling and kicking my feet, listening to this college romance. I'm assuming you know the summary of all of these books because it's just the context of this video, okay? Me blushing and giggling over this so much, and it is also so obvious to me that the author of this book is a Swiftie, because there's this moment, if you know, you know, where he gives her a necklace and it has the initials H. And just the way that scene was written, the author never, ever, ever mentions the song, but immediately what starts playing in my head is Call It What You Want. I want to wear his initial on a chain around my neck. And if you see my tier ranking videos this year, you know that's one of my categories, because Call It What You Want is one of my all-time favorite songs. And I'm just obsessed with this book. I am obsessed with this book. If I had a criticism of it, it's that it's a touch too long, which sometimes these kind of romances suffer from, because there is a certain point towards like later in the book, I would say the final third, where there was just like 4 or 5 chapters. I'm like, I feel like I should be at the end of the story already. Like, what do you mean I have 3 hours left? I feel like I'm already at the end. Then I would think that and immediately erase it. I like, don't care. Love Hallie and Henry together so much. So much so that at my friend's birthday party that I went to a couple of days ago, where we were like dressed as bookish characters, I was dressed as Hallie. And I want to tell you, my friend had a folklore cardigan, which I personally never got because it used to be a lot cheaper. Now it's $70. I'm not paying $70 for a fucking cardigan. That's a lot of money. But she had the folklore cardigan and I got to put it on, and it was just wish fulfillment. So it is safe to say, besties, I'm not done with Daydream. I have about 20 minutes left, so I'm almost done with Daydream. But at this point, I can pretty safely tell you it is a 4.5 star. And what worked really well for me is that the entire story is about Henry and Hallie. I love the alternating points of view. I love their perspective. I love how distinct their characters feel. I love how they're dealing with their own issues and still choosing to come together. And I love how they're navigating their identities together. This is a story of them. The entire romance is their relationship. And I love it. I'm obsessed. I'm so into it. But that does remind me that I told you at my friend's birthday party, we had a book swap. That was so much fun. I'm probably one of the best birthday parties I've been to because of just the people. Like, we were all just vibing, which was so much fun. That fell over, as you can see. But the book that I ended up getting is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. And the person who put this book in also had like little treats and stuff, which was so sweet. So we have this bookmark, which is so cute. It says Good Girl. And then we have one of my favorites, Smut Slut, and another sticker, I just want to drink my tea and read my porn. And if you're one of my Discord friends, you remember this conversation that we had a while ago about people having very weird takes on romance novels, people who read romance novels, and just reducing the entire genre to being porn. I want to read my porns. Leave me and my porns alone. This was such a lucky coincidence because this is the only book in the series that I have not read. I've read everything else, and if you're not new here, you know that I love this series because I love monster romance. So I'm so excited to read this. But I think the next book that I'm going to pick up is probably going to be Funny Story by Emily Henry. At this point, the Goodreads Choice Awards first round of nominees is going to end in about 5 days. So that gives me just enough time potentially to read Funny Story, and just for the summer, maybe I will try to get to both, but I might just get to one, and that's going to have to be okay, because I mentioned at the beginning of this video where I was like, do I do 2 parts? Like, what should I do? And I'm like, it's the opening round. I'm going to read the books that I want to read from the opening round, and then when we get to the top 10, I'll read the books that I'm interested in that weren't in it. Like, obviously, that's what I'm going to end up doing. But besties, I am going to drink my overly fucking full of sugar sleepy girl tea. What sleep is going to happen? No wonder it hasn't been effective. It has too much fucking sugar in it. Yes, I am mad about it. And I'm going to see you in the morning where I'll have my final review or final rating for Daydream, because you already know how I feel about it, and where we'll be starting Funny Story. I did finish Daydream, and to absolutely no one's surprise, it is 5 stars. I loved it so much for all of the reasons that I already mentioned, but also if you know me and you know my reading taste, you know this is exactly the kind of romance that I would adore. It was the perfect read for me, although I could totally see criticisms if you think this book is boring or too slow or too long. I can see that, but for me, it's everything that I look for in a romance, and I loved it, and for sure will be recommending it in the future. Now, I said that I would read Funny Story, but the truth is, I can say with 99% certainty that we're gonna see Funny Story and Just for the Summer in the final round of the Goodreads Choice Awards. So because I'm very confident they're going to be in the top 10, I will read those books in part 2. But for this part, I want to see The Story of Us, and that's not it. That's a Taylor Swift song. Which reminds me, remember how I was telling you I want to wear his initial on a chain around my neck, and how Hannah Grace wrote that scene 100% for the Swifties? Why didn't I put it together? The chorus literally is, my baby's fit like a daydream, walking with his head down, I'm the one he's walking to. Fit like a daydream. We love, call it what you want. It's one of my favorite songs ever. I think it is so romantic, and Daydream is for the girlies who understand that Reputation is a love album. But This Could Be Us? No, that's Colleen Hoover. Right? I don't fucking know. This one, the Kennedy Ryan one, I decided to read that because I have the audiobook out from my library. Let me just say, bless up to libraries, because they've been coming through so hard for me this year, especially with my move. And I'm only 8 chapters in. Let me tell you, this is dramatic. Dramatic. First of all, she has teenage daughters, and reading about that, I'm like, this is why I should not be a parent. This is why I shouldn't be a parent, because one of them says something and I'm like, you better watch your fucking mouth. Second of all, I'm gonna insert a clip right here of Soledad's husband. Yeah, that's that man. Trash from the get-go. Disgusting. How she ever ended up with him, I don't know, girl. I don't know, because her family should have been like, bitch, I think the fuck not. I can't even tell you what the situation is, but I'm just like, Kennedy, the drama, and the way the hero is involved with that drama, I was like, I'm not even 10 chapters in, and I feel like I'm reading a telenovela. But I am having, it's hard to say a good time because the situation is so stressful, but the man, her husband, trash. Let me just give you some context, okay? Without spoiling the situation that actually happens, the very first conversation that we see between her and her husband is him telling her that her pussy's loose, that he won't sleep with her because she gave birth to his 3 kids and he thinks her vagina is loose. Again, here he is. Trash. Literally trash. But again, the way the actual love interest of this story is involved in the situation that Soledad and her children and her husband are going through, the tea. But I'm going to keep listening to this audiobook throughout the weekend, but to be honest with you, I am here with my mom and I want to spend time with her, so I'm not going to give you like very frequent updates. If the vlog is relatively short, please bear with me because I don't have that much time to yap. I would like to prioritize family time. With that said, I'm gonna eat my dinner and I will see you whenever I see you when I reach the halfway points of this book, or knowing this book when something crazy happens. I have to start this clip by telling you I'm almost done with This Could Be Us, and I love it. I'm so obsessed with it. I love the relationship that's going on, but also all the drama and messiness is literally so much fun. I'm having such a good time, and I want to emphasize, I stayed up until almost midnight last night listening to this audiobook because I couldn't stop listening, and the spicy scenes are so good. Soledad and... why do I forget all of their names? Judah. They are so fun together. But the drama with Soledad's ex-husband, I'm like, girl. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I think this could honestly be another 5-star read for this video, which we're going really well. And I'm so glad that I'm loving these books because so many of them were already on my radar or on my TBR. So this is just motivation to finish it. I do sense some kind of drama and fallout because Judah and Soledad are not actually like in a relationship right now. And again, I can't tell you how Judah is involved in that messiness, but just know it's going to result in some hella drama with Soledad's kids, her daughters, because once they find out what exactly is happening between their mom and Judah, I don't think it's going to go well. But I have literally like an hour and a half left of the audiobook, so I think we're leading to a big explosive ending here. But I am loving it, and I want to give you that update, and I will update you tomorrow, which is also the day this vlog is going up, to give you my final thoughts, and then we'll do the voting for round 1 of the Goodreads Choice Awards. Good morning. It is about 7:45 a.m. and I just want to tell you that I did in fact finish This Could Be Us last night. I don't have much additional things to say because I did just love it. It was a 5-star read for me, but I will tell you, Judah, this man 100% is a man written by a woman solely because of his ability to give Soledad multiple orgasms. Like, I lost track of the number of positions they were in. My girl's voice hurt from how good this man was in bed. But anyway, I did really love it. It was a 5-star read. I am so happy that I read it. And we're gonna close out this vlog with me officially voting in round 1 of the Goodreads Choice Awards. I honestly think I might end up voting for This Could Be Us, but let's take a look at the award options and see who we want to pick for our final 10. All right, it is time to vote for the Goodreads Choice Awards for the romance round. Let's be so fucking for real. It's 8 a.m. and I want this video to go up today. So no, I did not get ready at all. Actually, this is me fresh out of bed. The things that I want to address right away. I know that we're going to see the Ali Hazelwood, the Abby Jimenez, and the Emily Henry in the next round. So I did not bother to read those in this video because I know I'll be reading them in the next one. The Love of My Afterlife, I tried to read. I'm gonna tell you right now, I just didn't enjoy the writing style. If you like the kind of writing style that feels like very narrative and comedic, then maybe you'll like this, but that doesn't personally work for me very often, so I just returned that to the library. In this video, I did end up reading A Love Song for Ricki WIlde, This Could Be Us, and Daydream, and I absolutely loved all 3 of these books. But prior to that point, I had also read The Paradise Problem, which was, again, a book that I adored this year. I read Swift and Saddled, which I thought was just okay, and then I also read Bride, which I did like. It was a 4-star read for me. So of all of the books on this list that I have read, the book that I think I'm going to end up voting for is This Could Be Us. Personally, I think I enjoyed Daydream just as much as This Could Be Us, but I can admit that Daydream is just my perfect romance. It's what I look for in romance. I don't think everyone would have a 5-star reading experience with Daydream, even though I loved it so much. But that's because I love soft romances where the romance is the entirety of the story. This Could Be Us had a lot going for it, and I just have to say it was really, really, really good. So my vote is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. All right, friends, that does bring us to the end of this Goodreads video. I have to say I'm so pleasantly surprised by how well this video went. I loved all of the books that I read here, and I'm very excited for part 2, where we'll find out what the top 10 nominations are and finally read Funny Story and Just for the Summer, as well as one additional book. As always, I appreciate you being here. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you think any books got snubbed, because there are certainly ones that I was very surprised to see and ones that I was very surprised not to see. And with that said, my loves, I am going to see you in my next video on Wednesday. Bye, friends.